we got a quorum?
You do, Mr. Chair, have a quorum, yes.
Thank you. And then I will call the meeting to order for Wednesday, May 12th of the Strathcona Gardens Commission and ask for adoption of the public agenda.
Move adoption.
So moved.
Any
Second.
discussion? Any discussion? Anyone opposed? That is carried. Mr. Leach or Mr. Yates, any petitions or delegations?
Nope.
Then moving on to adoption of the April 14th, 2021 minutes as presented.
Move adoption.
Move adoption. Second.
Discussion. I have a question for Ms. Garak. How is the extension of Rink 2 and Leisure Ice going? Is that working as well as you had anticipated?
Yes, it has. We were scheduled to go into May 24th, and the user groups and programs that are running on there are running as we anticipated. So that's good news.
Thank you. Anything else? Is anyone opposed? That is carried. Any business arising from the minutes? No public considerations. Chair's report. In light of the pre-meeting conversation, I just want to share with you that in the last 2 weeks, I have been on 2 different calls with Minister Osborne regarding 2 different topics. The last one was in regards to the provincial health order travel restrictions rollout. It was for all of the mayors and chairs for Vancouver Island, for that region. They do regions of the province in these calls. And you have an opportunity to ask questions. So when it came to me, I said, I don't really have a question. I just want to thank you for the continued engagement, but I'll leave you with one word. And Minister Osborne said, and what is that? And I said, recreate. Have a good day. Thank you. Also had a call last week with MLA Babchuk, former commission member, and she is pounding away on our behalf as best she can. So stay tuned. Any comments on my report?
Again, I don't know how quickly you joined, but and I know you know Josie and obviously Michelle, and you know a lot of folks down there. I think it's important because I can't tell you how often. Again, it's almost daily that either municipal, the citizen services or municipal affairs we're talking to, and I'm really trying to leverage the angle that, and Campbell River is a huge contributor, and this is saying what the SRD and Campbell River is doing for other areas. In Connected Coast, there's dozens of communities. We're doing a lot on their behalf, and yep. We kind of need a reward for that. I'm not saying that directly, but we're doing a lot for others here. We're bringing a lot of money to a lot of other communities, making them able to reinvent themselves for whatever e-health, technology, commerce, education. So they're getting a lot of benefit from us. And, our area really needs, an award in terms of Recreate and for the work that we've done for all these other communities. So I think that has some leverage there.
Okay. Well, let's thank you for that. We'll keep that common theme going forward, but just for commission members to know that at every opportunity we are trying to remind them of the significance, but also remind them of the financial investment that we have already made to position it as best we could.
Yeah.
So could I have a motion to receive the chair's report, verbal report?
Move receipt.
Move receipt.
Okay.
Second.
Second, thank you. And any further discussion? Anyone opposed? That is carried. And moving to staff reports, Campbell River Storm Hockey Club request for refund.
Move receipt.
Thank you. Is there a seconder?
Second.
Any discussion? I have just one discussion or one comment, and it's before we get to B. First of all, I really appreciate the breakdown of the report by staff, and also really applaud them for proactively going out and reselling the ice that was made available. But I'm just wondering, we did such a good job in recruiting 66 hours out of the 78. As we couldn't use it and the storm couldn't use it, do we really want to consider giving the full 78-hour refund that they didn't use, or are we, like, we're not talking a lot of money here?
No, if you want to do it, I mean.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but that's sort of what I'm putting out there for the commission to consider. But that will come on item B. This is just discussion on receipt of the report. So any other discussion from commission members?
No, I think it's a good report.
Okay. And we have it moved and seconded. Mr. Yates?
I believe so.
Yes, you do. Yes.
Anybody in opposition to receipt? That is carried. And item B, the recommendation.
Move B.
Move receipt.
No, this is
Second.
To
Oh, the recommendation?
this is the recommendation to pay back the 66 hours.
I have a
Okay, I
question,
would
Mr.
like, and
Okay.
I have a question as well.
Okay, Commissioner Lee, then Commissioner Grunerud.
Since this refund is being spurred on by completely COVID-related issues, can any of the funds that we receive from the provincial government for COVID be applied to the loss of these 66 hours?
Mr. Chair, I have an easy
Or
answer
used
to that,
for
I think.
the
Yeah.
storm to refund them?
Well, indirectly, yes. So what we have received is these 2 doses of the COVID money. We are gonna we have a bunch of unallocated funds that we're gonna need to allocate by the end of this year from the first batch that is earmarked for the gardens. And then we got a second dose of money, which we're gonna bring a report shortly to the board. And the lion's share again will be allocated because they have limitations on what we can use, and the gardens can use every bit of it. So we're going to allocate the majority of that money there. And so I guess that's a long-winded way of saying we don't directly give it to the storm, but we put it back into our revenues and offsets expenses. So trying to say that there is financially we have some funds that we can accommodate this. Yeah.
So just a subsequent, so they already owed us money, didn't they, on ice rentals, and about 15,000, I believe it was, before this 66-hour refund is proposed. So if we propose a credit to them, as the motion says, can that just eliminate their debt and give them a bit extra for next
They
year?
are paid in full.
They're paid in full, okay. Well, I'll support the recommendation because I don't, if we can get any help from the COVID fund, that would be good.
Okay, Commissioner Grunerud.
I'm in support of reimbursing the full amount just on one criteria through Corrine. This was canceled in hours or in a timely fashion that you could at least attempt to fill the slots. It wasn't a call at 9 p.m. that they couldn't use their 9 a.m. ice
Well,
time.
that does happen, and unfortunately, the way COVID has rolled out, sometimes health orders came at 3 o'clock Friday afternoon, and that's the reality with COVID, is that in some cases they did not have a whole lot of time themselves to adjust, or they had to quickly react to. So I would have to say the majority is related to orders or rollout of restrictions that placed some uncertainty on some things. There are definitely times with practices that do show up where last minute, but for the most part, I think in most of this was related to COVID.
Okay, thanks, Corinne.
Any further discussion? So the motion is, as it stands right now, is what is written in our agenda.
I would like to adopt the motion, or amend the motion to read the full amount. I believe it's 78 something hours.
Is there a seconder for an amendment?
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner Gunnaroon, any comment on the amendment?
No, just that it be the amount, the 66 plus the amount that was unavailable or unsold.
Which was the 12 additional hours.
Correct.
Okay, any further discussion? Anyone opposed? And back to the motion as amended.
So moved.
Thank you. Seconder.
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Kerr. And I just want to reemphasize to staff, and in particular Ms. Garak, how proactive they were in reselling the 66 out of the 78 hours. That's outstanding work, and just demonstrates how responsive and flexible and accommodating you were during a very challenging time. So thank you.
Thank you. I'll pass that along. Thank you.
So is anyone in opposition? That is carried. And do we have anything else?
Closed session.
So that the report be received.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Anyone opposed? That is carried. And B, the
Move B. The
Second.
closed meeting be held under 91C and O of the community charter.
thank you.
Second.
And any discussion? Is anyone opposed? That is carried. So we will, do we need to do anything, Mr. Leach, or can we just stay and carry on? Do we have
Mr.
any
Chairman,
public?
we will need to terminate this meeting. There is another closed session specifically to deal with an item separately.
Okay.
Move termination.
Second.
And before I sign off, could somebody, Edith, can you make sure that I get sent the invitation to the closed? Because the reason I didn't tune in until a few minutes into the meeting was that I couldn't find any invitation on my emails, and I had to phone in and ask them to send me one. So if you could make sure you send me an invitation to the closed.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Lee.
Thank you.
And
Thank
is
you.
anyone in opposition of termination of the open meeting? We are terminated, and we'll reconvene. You can sign off and sign on to the closed. Thank you.